From the 2016 census, it was recorded that there were 1,087,759 United Kingdom-born people in Australia. Distribution by state, highest is at New South Wales with 270,000, followed by Western Australia at 233,000, Queensland at 214,000, and Victoria at 209,000. For people born in New Zealand, recorded census was 518,466 New Zealand-born people in Australia. State distribution, highest is at Queensland at 201,000, followed by New South Wales at 117,000, Victoria at 93,000, and Western Australia at 79,000. For people born in India, the 2016 census recorded 459,389 India-born people in Australia. State distribution, highest is at Victoria with 169,000, followed by New South Wales at 143,000, Western Australia at 49,000, and Queensland at 49,000. For people born in the Philippines, the latest census in 2016 recorded 232,386 Philippine-born people in Australia. State distribution, highest was at New South Wales with 86,749, followed by Victoria at 51,290, Queensland at 39,000, and Western Australia at 30,000. Now, the top 10 countries providing the most permanent migrants to Australia in order of rank from 2021 to 2022 are number 1, India, number 2, People's Republic of China, number 3, United Kingdom, number 4, Philippines, number 5, Nepal, number 6, Vietnam, number 7, New Zealand, number 8, Hong Kong, number 9, Pakistan, number 10, South Africa. Now, where is the best place to move in Australia? I often get asked about this question, and admittedly, I don't know what the right answer is. But for this video, let's do a bit of an activity and endeavor to find out where the best place is to move in Australia. But first, if we're just meeting, kia ora, kamusta? Welcome to Australia. I'm your host, Binibining, Veronica. So the first part of this video was just all about stats. If you missed it, why? Go back to the very start. So it's stats about some migrants who are living in Australia to give you an idea where most of migrants from other countries decided to settle. Because I guess that's how it starts, right? Hoy, si Juan, he moved to Sydney and they look like they're living well. So maybe we should move there as well. So I guess it sparks some curiosity or interest, but we still don't know where the best place is. So let's ask Google. So, top answers. Number 1, Adelaide. Best for food and drinks. Ooh. Average cost of living, 1,987 Australian dollars per person. The beautiful city of Adelaide is considered the best city to live in Australia. The global culture of the city and the diversity make everyone feel at home and explore their potential to the fullest. Adelaide is famous for its low-key pretty cafes, delicious restaurants, and unbeatable nightlife. Often, people are attracted to this place because of its chill vibe and beautiful view. Another thing that makes Adelaide one of the best places to live in Australia, it has an easy access to green spaces such as botanical gardens and more. Are you enticed yet? This is just based off Google. I just randomly typed this on Google, and this is, I guess, one of the top websites that appeared. Number 2, Melbourne. Best for culture. Average cost of living, 4,495 per person. While looking for the best place to move in Australia, Melbourne tops the list. The land of the beaches and a beautiful city, Melbourne is known for its quality of life and the fun element that it gives to its students. It is the second largest city in Australia and is known for its culture and creativity. If you want to feel the cosmopolitan life, then Melbourne is the option for you. Melbourne is blessed with the most extraordinary beaches. Beach life. #Melbourne. Number 3, Perth. Best for climate. Average cost of living, $1,842 per person. Home to the best educational system and a booming economy, Perth is considered one of the best places to live in Australia. The city offers warm weather, gorgeous city parks, and a safe neighborhood for people to live in. You can never get bored in the city as the up and happening, vibrant life of the place wraps everyone in its amazing vibe. Perth is well prepared and developed to cater to the growth educational needs and is attracting students from across the world every year. Thus, Perth is also considered the best city to live in Australia. Are you convinced yet? Number 4, Sydney, best for job opportunities. Average cost of living, 1,806 Australian dollars. Known for its famous opera house, architectural marvels, and some of the best institutions of knowledge like the University of Sydney, the city is one of the 10 best places to live in Australia. Sydney is world famous for its strong transportation system. Sydney plays one of the most important roles in the growth of Australia with its focus on education, tourism, and job opportunities. Number 5, Brisbane, best for nature. Average cost of living, $1,849 per person. Brisbane is considered a more affordable city as compared to Melbourne and Sydney. Brisbane is developing in various sectors and its economy is booming day by day in hospitality, health, tourism, and manufacturing sectors. Brisbane is the third largest city and one of the best places to live in Australia. The green suburbs balance out the warm weather of the city. People are known for being the warmest, which make it the ideal place to settle and one of the best places to live in Australia. Number 6, Canberra, best for families. Blessed with the most intriguing wonders of nature and trailblazing institutions. Apart from being one of the best places to live in Australia for young adults, the city is a student favorite. Canberra is the inland capital of the nation and is also a top destination for international students. With the pretty tree-lined up streets, bushlands, and the amalgamation of various cultures, Canberra offers its people. The city is a perfect abode for students and families. People of Brisbane like to go out in the sunny weather for picnics, and one can easily find people indulging in outdoor activities. Are you finding like a city yet that you are kind of interested to maybe look and research further? Gold Coast, best for affordable place. A heaven for surfers and explorers, the city of Gold Coast is a dream destination for people across the world. Gold Coast has grown to be one of the most vibrant and best places to live in Australia. Gold Coast is very well known for the diversity of its international population, world-renowned institutions, and of course, the most stunning coastlines in the world. So yeah, these were the, I guess, top 10 recommendations that I got off Google. If you want to read more of the actual website, I'll leave a link below. But that's just the information that we got off Google. Alright, so those look like a good general recommendation, but for the purpose of this activity, let's be more specific and pretend that I am still living in New Zealand with my family and we are still trying to figure out, for example, what is the best place for us. So let's add my profile to make this activity specific for me and my family. So I am a nurse. My husband is also a nurse, and we want to work somewhere where the salary is good for nurses, there's good work opportunities, and we also prefer to have a good work-life balance, but somewhere not too rural. Let's ask an AI this time and see what the results are. So it gave us 4 recommendations. So first state was New South Wales, and it's actually given me 2 options. First is Sydney, that's the capital city. Sydney, as we know, offers a diverse range of job opportunities for nurses with several large hospitals and healthcare facilities. While Sydney can be expensive, there are also more affordable suburbs within commuting distance. The city provides a good balance of urban amenities and natural attractions. And then it also gave me a regional area in New South Wales, which is Newcastle. Newcastle is located north of Sydney. It offers a more relaxed lifestyle compared to the capital city, but still provides good job opportunities in healthcare. The cost of living is generally lower than Sydney, and it's known for its beautiful beaches and outdoor activities. And then number 2, it gave me a different state, Victoria, and it highlighted the capital city, Melbourne. Melbourne is another excellent option with a strong healthcare sector and numerous hospitals and medical centers. It is known for its vibrant art scene, diverse culture, and excellent dining options. While Melbourne can be pricey, there are affordable suburbs within reach and the quality of life is generally high. Third state, as far as recommendations go, we have Queensland, and it's recommending the capital city, Brisbane. Brisbane offers a more laid-back lifestyle compared to the larger cities of Sydney and Melbourne. There are plenty of nursing opportunities in Brisbane, particularly with the city's growing population. The cost of living is generally lower compared to Sydney and Melbourne, and the climate is subtropical. And finally, on the last recommendation, we have Australian Capital Territory. Canberra, the capital city, offers a unique blend of urban amenities and natural surroundings. The healthcare sector in Canberra is well developed with opportunities in hospitals and research institutions. While the cost of living can be moderate, the quality of life is high, and there are plenty of outdoor recreational activities available. Okay, so like I mentioned, those are just general searches, general results that came out of Google and AI. And that's how we started this little activity. And to be honest, I am actually really liking this list so far. I like how it also included regional cities like Newcastle. And by the way, this is also something that you'll have to do for yourself when you are reflecting or contemplating about this question. So for example, do you want to be in the capital city or the regional city? So for example, if you are thinking of New South Wales, are you leaning more towards Sydney versus Newcastle? Are you leaning more towards Victoria? Is it Melbourne versus Geelong? Or are you considering Ballarat or Bendigo area? For Queensland, is it Brisbane versus Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast or even Toowoomba and so on? So it's just a good, I guess, idea to wrap your head around where you actually want to be. Is it capital city or regional city? But first, if you are enjoying this video, then please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you will know when I upload new videos just like this one. And if you want to support the channel, click that super thanks icon at the bottom of the video, or simply buy me a coffee by clicking the link below. And that link is buymeacoffee.com/Binibining. It helps to keep the light and the internet on. Alternatively, a big thumbs up also goes a long way. Salamat po. So now we have some random recommendation from Google and from an AI app. Now I'd like to know what some of my friends think, and for some reason I actually have a lot of friends who moved from New Zealand to Australia, and also there are those who moved from Philippines to Australia directly. And I think I can personally, my group of friends, I can group them into 3 clusters. Team Sydney, Team Victoria, and then Team Brisbane/Queensland. Sydney, because most of them are actually living in Sydney, in the Sydney CBD area, or just like surrounding 30 minutes drive from CBD. And then Victoria, because I know some who are currently in Melbourne and then mostly in other suburbs around Melbourne, and then Geelong in the regional city. And then Brisbane, because they are spread out through Brisbane CBD and then the north of Brisbane and south of Brisbane, and then regional areas such as Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast. And then special mention, I guess, would be Darwin, Northern Territory, because I know some people who were living there, but they ended up moving somewhere else anyway. So we don't really have any relatives in Australia, but I guess if you're moving to a different country, it is comforting to know that at least you are within driving distance of someone in that area. And by the way, question of the day, do you have families or close friends living in Australia? Where are they based right now? And would you consider moving in that similar city or town? Okay, let's go back to our little activity. So we have randomly nominated some area from the internet and from some friends' recommendation. Let's look back at my preferences. So nothing super rural, work-life balance, and good salary. So we talked about salary on my previous video. Link above if you've missed that. But from what I gathered, it's looking like Queensland, ACT, South Australia, and Victoria are the most competitive, at least based on the search that I've done a couple of months back. If you want to know more of the details, please watch that other video. But with these options, ACT is a smaller region compared to others. So I'm just not 100% sure about the job opportunities and like the competition around that as well. Thinking that it'll be both for me and my husband, and we're both nurses, ganyan. And then Victoria looks really appealing, you know, the culture, the coffee culture, the vibe, universities, if you have grown-up kids. However, the cost of living is making me a bit hesitant personally. In the Worldwide Cost of Living report released in December 2022, Melbourne actually ranked number 15. And then Sydney ranked number 10. So yeah, I think that would be part of my hesitation if ever. And then between South Australia and Queensland, I only know of a couple who used to live in Adelaide, but they have actually moved to Queensland recently. So I don't know, I might look up Queensland more. Oh, and when people ask me about salary, I almost always only look at the net salary and then my purchasing power, if that makes sense. Because if the cost of living is really high, then even if you are technically earning a lot, I feel that it weakens your dollar. However, it will always come down to preferences. I have friends who have well-supported families in Sydney and others who prefer the lifestyle in Melbourne, the great universities, the cafe culture. So it will really depend on what your priorities and preferences are. I also know of others who prefer the beach lifestyle at Central Coast, New South Wales. So really where you are in life, what you want from life will be a big factor. But first, let's go back to me. Alright, so personally, I want to further investigate Queensland. And another thing, I'd like to have our own home. So I also want to be somewhere where I can still afford to buy a house. And on paper, when I was doing previous searches, Perth in Western Australia and Queensland are both looking affordable in comparison to the rest of the other states. Mind you, there will be area which will be cheaper. This is not an investment property channel. There is markets within market, and if you are into property investing, you'd know that. But just for some arbitrary search, Perth and Queensland in terms of property market, they are looking rather appealing. And then going back in terms of nurses' salary, for nurses working on the floor, the highest band scored in Western Australia is L1 Step 8 with annual salary of $93,582 before tax. And this is based on the enterprise of public hospitals like what we have in New Zealand. We have Mecca. In Australia, they have enterprise. So 93,582 Australian dollars is around 99,811 New Zealand dollars. So that's not too bad. Because from the latest Mecca, the highest salary for nurses working on the floor in a public hospital in New Zealand is 95,576 New Zealand dollars. So if we convert it in New Zealand dollars, annual salary for those in Western Australia, the highest band for nurses working on the floor is at 99,000. For New Zealand, it's 95,000 in a public hospital. So not too far off. Now for Queensland Public Hospital, for nurses working on the floor, the highest band score in Queensland, Australia is level 5, step 7 at 103,053 AUD or 110,000 New Zealand dollars. So that looks promising. Again, for nurses in New Zealand in a public hospital working on the floor, highest band score would be 95,000 annually. For Australia, if we convert it to New Zealand dollars, it's 110,000 New Zealand dollars. But obviously, disclaimer, all of this information is based on publicly available documents. Please refer to your current enterprise, your Mecca, or contact your employer or HR for more details. And there are benefits plus penal rates on top of that. And what you would also like to consider, staff-patient ratio, the work environment, and the like. And I have talked about that in my other videos. Link below for more details. So let's pencil that in, Perth and Queensland, at least for now anyway. So Perth is a capital city. They have definitely not rural, also not as busy as Sydney or Melbourne, at least based on our quick Google search. This state is quite far from other states though, so if that matters to you, you may need to reconsider that. And also there's the weather because it can be humid in Perth and Queensland as well. Within Queensland, we have a few options based on our quick search. So Brisbane CBD, Brisbane surrounds, that's either going north or south, and to some extent Ipswich to the west, and maybe Redland area to the waters. There's also Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, and to some extent Toowoomba. Now, let's say I've spent some time researching these area, and honestly, you can only do so much with the internet, and even when you actually visit the place, a few days doesn't really give you a perfect picture. So let's just say we have to eliminate some area because we want our top 3 destination. And again, personally for me and my husband, it matters for us to have our own home. So let's say after a few reflections, we felt like the property market for Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast at the moment is too hot, so we might give it a pass. And let's say that at this stage we prefer a capital city versus regional city. So now it's just really a toss between Perth versus Brisbane. But again, I filtered those cities just based on our personal preferences. So where is the best place to move in Australia? Like I said early in the video, I honestly don't know. But this would be the process that I'll do to arrive on a decision. This is partly what we've done. And by the way, we chose Brisbane. I have only been in Brisbane for one work conference. It was only for 2 days, and I didn't even get to actually inspect the area. But there was a familiar feeling to it. Plus, on paper, it felt like it was the best fit for us as a family where we were at the moment. And yes, writing down pros and cons also helps, at least for us anyway. Having said that, even when we moved to Brisbane 2 years ago, it didn't feel like we moved to the best place in Australia. It's actually far from that. There's things that I liked and things that I was upset about. Let me know if you want a pros and cons video about Brisbane. Write it in the comment section below and I'll do that next. But there are definitely a lot of factors to consider in moving to Australia. And after 6 months or so, we actually realized that the cost of buying a house in Brisbane was more than what we were willing to spend. So anyway, we started looking at surrounding area. And we weren't sure where to go between north of Brisbane versus south of Brisbane. And that needs a separate video. But there is again a process, some research, and some reflection. We decided to go north of Brisbane, which I feel like was the most appropriate choice for our family. We also have a few friends here from Tauranga. Shout out to you guys. You are awesome. And we met new people who are just amazing at work and in the community. So that helps for sure. We are slowly settling in. I still can't say it's the best, but it did work out for us, so I am grateful. Now, I have seen these Facebook posts and I just want to share it to whoever needs to hear it right now. So the post goes, if you are questioning whether to move here in Australia, then it is evident that you are not ready to move. Before you plan the exhausting relocating process, it might benefit you if you change your mindset and accept that you will experience some challenges. You are what you think. Grab a glass of water and believe that you will make it. That's the first one, which I feel like is like tough love. And then the second one I feel is more comforting. It says, you have every single right to question a move to Australia from New Zealand. It is a big decision that shouldn't be taken lightly. You are an absolutely amazing parent if you find yourself questioning, because there are so many variables to consider before moving an entire life. Moving away from whānau, comfort, security, schools, jobs, lifestyle, culture, etc. Take your time, trust the process, give it time, and don't be pressured into feeling or thinking in a way other than what your gut tells you is right for you and your family. And I think that is the phrase right there. What is right for you and your family will be different from me and from other people. Maybe the best place for you is Adelaide or Melbourne, or maybe it's a city I don't even know about. That is the question that you will have to answer, but I hope our little activity helped. If you are a nurse and you want to know more about building a nursing career abroad, I have a free planner which you can use. Alternatively, we also have a Facebook group for nurses moving from New Zealand to Australia. Join the chat. You are more than welcome. And if you think this video is helpful, then share it. Share it to your friends or watch my other videos on how to buy your first car in Australia. As always, I wish you all the best with your journey and I hope you will be blessed. I'll see you soon. Bye!